everyone, welcome back to Yoga Magnificat with Mathia. We're going to do a beginner's Hatha yoga class, which is suitable for all levels. So feel free to grab a mat, a nice clear space on your floor. You might want a block, maybe a strap, and some padding for your knees if you have sensitive kneecaps. So with that said, we're going to get started at the top of the mat. And once you walk up to the front, you're going to stand about hip distance apart. Now I'm going to turn to face the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So you can see that I've got my feet underneath my hips. I've got my hands down by my sides. And then feel free to roll your shoulders up and back, settling them down. Feel free to close your eyes at this point and allow yourself to feel the ground beneath your feet. Settle into your Tadasana or mountain pose, feeling the swaying of the body in space, feeling that strength underneath your feet, your foundation, a principle that we use in yoga often, which is rooting down to rise and finding our strength. Begin by breathing in through your belly, up towards your diaphragm, and all the way up to your neck and shoulders. When you're ready, let the air seep back out, one section at a time until you reach the bottom of your belly. And then again, repeat by bringing the air in through the belly, up towards the diaphragm, all the way up to your neck and shoulders, taking a slight pause before letting the breath back out. Allow yourself to become quiet with your breath, inhaling slowly and exhaling slowly. And just continue feeling that stillness moving its way into the body and into your mind. Allow yourself to take a deep cleansing breath in, a deep cleansing exhale out. From here, you can open the eyes. We'll interlace the hands and flip the palms out. Press through your palms, straighten the arms. Inhale to lift. As you push down into your feet, push up with your palms. And as you exhale, turn and just bend to the right. Get a nice side bend, left side body open. Inhale to come all the way up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Maybe look up at your bicep. Another inhale, we stay here. And another exhale, come all the way up. Release the hands and interlace the palms behind you. This time, roll your shoulders back by pressing your fists into your body. And then once you're ready with the shoulder heads nice and far back, press your fists to the earth and look forward. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out, trying to get those shoulder blades behind you almost to touch. Feeling that expansion across the rib cage, across the collarbones. Feel that openness, and then release. Let's sweep those arms up overhead and exhale, flow the arms away. Inhale, open and reach. Exhale, press the air away. This last time, inhale to reach up, and exhale, bend your elbows and squeeze them down towards your rib cage and look up. Plant your feet, push your hips slightly forward, and take a little bend back. Open up your throat and exhale. Inhale to release. One more time, press those elbows back. Look up, exhale, and inhale to release. This time, bring the hands to the heart. So as we stand here, I'm going to turn to the side now. You're going to stay where you are. This time you can see me a little bit better here. So as we're standing at the top of the mat, hands to the heart, press your hands forward and keep your hips facing forward. Don't let them turn from side to side. As you take your right hand and slip it back, open your chest to the right. Take a deep breath in and really reach and open up the arms. Feel those spinal muscles turning, a little bit of a rotation. exhale, bring the right hand forward. Take the left hand back. Keep your chest turning. Keep your hips forward. So you might even sit here and think, how can I bring my left hip forward, my right hip back? Breathe in, looking forward. Try to leave some space between your chin and your chest so you're not tempted to look down and scrunch into the body. Let's release. Take the hands to the heart. This time, dive all the way down to your forward bend. Again, if you can't touch your toes, put your hands on a block, a phone book, a couple books, whatever works for you. Or you can reach for the back of your ankles or calves and allow yourself to hook yourself forward towards your thighs. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Let your entire upper body cascade forward towards the top of your head. As you inhale, lift your head, bring your hands onto your shins or your thighs, and straighten into a number 7 called halfway lift. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Exhale, bend those knees, send the hands back down, head down, or to the back of your calves for forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on shins or thighs again, like a number 7. And exhale, forward bend again. Now notice my knees are fairly soft for this first few forward bends. You don't ever have to stand really with straight legs in this position. Keep them soft and let your upper body relax. Inhale, look up, hands onto shins or thighs for halfway lift. From here, bend your knees, push into your feet as you allow yourself to lift up. Bring the hands to the heart. Feel that steadiness in the body, the rhythm of your heart. Steadiness in both the mind and breath. And then from here, we're going to start with a sun salutation sequence. So you can move your blocks out of the way. You're going to want to make sure that your entire length of your mat is free as we stand at the top of the mat with our feet hip distance apart. Inhale, sweep those arms up. As you exhale, flow slowly down to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins, thighs, or the floor. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands onto the ground and step 1 foot back at a time to come to plank position. Now, plank position, hands should be underneath the shoulders, core is drawn in, hips are slightly up but not too high. And then everything else is fairly straight from here. Try not to let your hips drip down like so. You want to push them up slightly and feel your abdominals contracting at the top. Now, your next choice here is to lower your knees, your belly, and then your chest. Keep your elbows close to your body as you untuck your toes. From here, inhale, press up into a baby cobra. Try not to push all your weight into your hands. You're using your back strength here. Push your toes down into the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Slowly release back down. Tuck your toes, elbows close to your body as you press yourself back into maybe modified plank and then pushing your hips up into downward dog. You might want to walk your feet in a little bit. Keep your elbows close, pressing close together. In some way, you want to squeeze an imaginary watermelon between those elbows. Hands are about shoulder distance apart. From here, bend your knees, walk to your hands and stay low to your forward bend. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, stand up. Inhaling, hands to the heart. Next inhale, we start again. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step it back. Plank position, or you can also do modified plank, which is on the knees. Again, keep yourself in a nice long length here without pressing back into tabletop. You're going to land your knees if you haven't already. Bend your elbows and land your belly, then chest. From here, untuck your toes, elbows close, baby cobra, peel up. Couple of breaths here. Really to liven up the spine. And exhale, lower down, tuck your toes. Push back up into your modified plank. Lift those hips, push into those hands, coming to your downward facing dog. Let your head relax, you're looking at your big toes. Bend your knees, walk forward, 1 foot at a time, back to forward bend. Inhale for your halfway lift. Bend your knees, come all the way up. Bring the hands to heart. Let's do that one last time, lifting high, exhale, bend forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift, get nice and long like a number 7. Exhale, bend those knees and step it 1 foot at a time back into your plank or modified plank. Lower down, knees, belly, chest. Untuck those toes. Get ready for that baby cobra. So those elbows are back, the shoulders are away from your ears. Press down into your toes. Lift up through the muscles of your back, just peeling up a little bit of your chest. Last big breath in. Last big breath out. Tuck your toes. Come back into your modified plank and just shift it back into child's pose. So your knees can stay where they are. Untuck your toes and lay your tummy flat onto your thighs. You can lower your head down onto a block, maybe 2 fists on top of each other, and rest your forehead down if you cannot reach the floor. Now, if this is too compressed for you and you need more space around your belly, widen your knees to the width of your mat and put your big toes together like a diamond shape behind you, and then sit back. So you can take a hip distance or wide stance, child's pose, it's really up to you. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Find some space in between their shoulder blades. Find length through your spine all the way down to your tailbone. And then slowly make your way back up onto a tabletop position. And we're going to sit onto the right hip. So go ahead and bring your legs off to the side and sit on your right hip. We're going to work on something called side plank. So don't be scared. There are lots of variations for this one as well. And I'm going to show you all 3 of them. So your first 2 options are the easiest. Your third option is probably the most challenging. So we all start off with the right hand down on the floor, and make sure that your shoulder stays on top of that hand as straight up and down as you can keep it. Now we're going to lengthen the legs out off to the side, and again, try to keep that hand underneath that shoulder. Core is drawn up and away from the floor. Notice I'm not letting myself sag down to the ground or sink into my shoulder. So I'm really actively pushing down and getting a little bit of that side body away from the ground. Now, your first option is to start with side plank with the top leg, left leg, in front. So you're going to cross over and stick that foot down. Now you're going to keep your left hand to steady you by pushing down with your fingertips on the floor and push down onto your right hand. Push into that front left foot and then into the edge of your right foot. Now, once you're ready, see if you can lift the hip off the ground. Now push down. Notice how I've still got my 2 hands on the ground. My hip is lifted. Now, you might find this is probably enough for you. Your other option is to try to peel that hand up towards the sky and bump those hips up a little higher. So that's option 1. Option 2 is to take that top leg and place it behind the right leg. So some people might find it more easier to do one or the other. So you go ahead and experiment. Take the left foot on the floor, feel the connection of the sole of the foot and the right hand. Now you're going to push down, same thing, stabilize with your fingertips. You're going to lift those hips up and then see if you can reach up for the sky and bring those hips to off the ground. So variation number 2. See which one works for you. We'll lower it down. This is the third and most difficult one, which is full side plank. That means having both feet stacked together. Coming up from this position might be a little challenging for some of you, so here's an idea. Place your left foot back on the floor behind your right leg. Okay, so it's behind, as you can see. Now you're going to start off in this modified position. If you'd like, you can have your fingertips off the ground and then stabilize by slipping your left foot on top of the right foot. And then when you're ready, see if you can lift that left hand off the ground. Then bump those hips up by pushing strong into that right hand. Take a deep breath and a deep breath out. So 3 variations. Super fun, right? You can feel your arm muscles working, your shoulder girdle, your core, your obliques, and some parts of your glutes and thighs as well. Let's lower down slow, and we'll try it on the other side. I'm going to turn around so I can still face the camera, but you can go ahead and just turn around over to the right side. We're going to start on our left hip. Left hand is underneath the shoulder. Legs are extended out to the back of the mat. Now, first variation, right foot in front of the left leg. Get a good purchase with the foot and the hand and the right fingertips. Push off, lift those hips. Decide where you want to go from here. Maybe lift the right hand up, stacking both hands. Okay. Second variation. Right foot goes behind the left leg. Get nice and tall through your upper body, core is drawn in. And then from here again, fingertips steadying you, left hand, right foot are what's grounding you to lift and rise. So there's your second variation. Now I'm going to go straight into the third variation from here because that's what we do, sort of an easier way to introduce the pose. So I can put my right hand back down onto the floor, lower down a little bit. I'm going to slip my right foot on top of the left foot, and then once I'm ready, I'm going to push down again, lift those hips up just a tiny bit more, take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. All right, release. You can take that right foot behind you and lower yourself down. If you found that was tough, don't worry, we will revisit this again later on in this class, but I just wanted to show you how you can modify this position 3 ways. All right, so we're going to come back to the top of the mat. And we're going to take a little walk up. Back to standing mountain pose. In mountain pose, we're going to start with our feet wider than hip distance apart. So I'll stand forward to show you. So normally we come into chair pose kind of like this with our feet really close together. Bear pose, I want you to have wider than hip distance apart, fairly wide. The toes are facing forward. Notice they're not turning out to the sides, but they are lined up with where my hips are facing. Now we're going to come into a deep squat. So we're going to start by bending the knees and the hips back. And I want you to pay attention to the position of your knees. Make sure that they're still on top of your ankles or the middle of your foot. So I'm going to turn around and show you again. In bear pose, hips are back, knees are bending, but they're not poking forward. They're staying relatively straight where they are, and my back is fairly straight. Now from here, we'll see if we can reach forward. Get really low in those hips, back fairly straight, draw your core up. Squeeze your glute muscles. Take another big breath in, looking forward. Exhale. Nice and wide through those feet, sinking back like a shelf through those hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, sit back down. Get down as low as you can. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press through the center and back portions of your feet. Try not to come up on your toes. Good, pushing all the way down. Last one, stay here. Come all the way up, and then walk the feet together, about hip distance apart at the top of your mat. Feel free to grab a drink of water at any time. This is a good time before we start our next series. From here, we're going to start in mountain pose. Hands by your sides. Inhale to lift. Exhale, forward fold. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. This time with the hands on the floor, come to halfway lift. Step your left foot back into low lunge. So frame the foot with your hands, staying low. Now this might be a little difficult for some of you, so this is where a block or two might be handy. You can place the block underneath your left hand and then very slowly walk your hands up onto your right thigh. Once you're ready and steady, find a place to stare at. Make your way all the way up until your shoulders are stacked with your hips. Lunge position. Big breath in. Big breath up. From here, land your left heel. Turn your body to the left edge of your mat, coming to warrior pose. Just gonna move my block out of the way. Warrior pose is a right knee lunge. Again, that knee does not go past the ankle, and my left leg is really straight, pushing onto the left side edge of that foot. Get nice and long, and then turn your head to look forward to your right fingertips. Inhale and exhale. Be very sure to make those knees press back in space. And then from here, flip your right hand, bring it up to the sky, placing your left hand onto the back thigh and taking a reach back. Now notice my front knee stays bent. It doesn't move, the legs are the same. In reverse warrior to regular warrior, warrior two. Again, flip that hand, move it back. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, warrior two. Last time, flip that front palm, bring it back. Exhale, cycle that arm onto your thigh and bring the left hand up and over. Try to get it as straight and diagonal as you can, so you notice that my left hand is kind of in line with my left foot. Spiral your chest to the left, bring that left shoulder slightly back. Take another big breath in, big breath out. Good. Come all the way back up. Now we're going to do our side plank from here. So this might be a little bit challenging. We're going to do a vinyasa, staying in plank, and then find our way to side plank from there. So listen carefully. Spiral your left hand down, turn to face forward for a low lunge. Okay, so we're going to slip the right foot back into plank, and you can decide where you want to go from here. Now we're going to place the weight onto the left hand, and we're going to turn the feet over to the right. Now, you can take your foot in front of you, like we did for that first part, and come into your side plank. Or, in this position, slip your right foot back behind you for second position. Or, third position, stacks the feet on top of each other into third position. Now, whichever position you're in, you're going to very slowly place the right hand back down and lower those knees. Now that's probably the hardest thing that I've introduced so far in a beginner's class. So please take it easy. Don't be discouraged. We'll try to get on the other side in a moment. Lower down. Inhale for your baby cobra. Little lift through the shoulders and chest. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Bring yourself back into a downward facing dog. Breathing in, pedal out your feet. Exhaling, letting yourself sink into the stretch. Press your heels down, bend your knees looking at your thumbs, walk one foot up to the next, and take a forward bend. A little bow. Let go of anything that you've been holding on to, exhaling and feeling yourself side out. Inhale, halfway lift like a number 7. Hands can be anywhere you like. Bend your knees, come all the way back up. Bring the hands back to the heart. Take a moment to steady yourself, to notice that bright beating of the heart, that familiar buzz of the blood moving through the body, the warmth in your muscles, and that calm in the mind. From here, we're going to start again in bear pose. So I'm going to angle myself a little bit more diagonally this time so you can see a different version or a different angle of what I'm going to do. Remember, bear pose, the feet are facing forward with your hips, and they are a little bit wider than hip distance apart. So maybe if I stand more at this angle, you can have a better view. So we're going to start by bending those hips back, bend your knees, and then push into your heels in the center of your foot as you sink down. Notice my knees are not pushing into my toes, I'm bringing them back. My core is drawn up and strong, and from here I'm going to bring my hands to frame my face. Kind of like chair pose, but a lot lower and a lot stronger. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Lots of concentration here. It's really working those quads, your hams, your glutes. Inhale, push yourself back up. Exhale, sink it back down. See if you like to go down a little bit lower. Inhale, push your way back up. Exhale, sink it back down. Inhale, push it up. Oh boy. Last one, sink it down. Come all the way back up at the top of your mat and bring yourself to about hip distance apart. From here, inhale to lift. Exhale, dive down, bringing the hands onto a block or the floor. And we're stepping back into a right foot lunge. So if you need your right hand on the block, just move it there. And then begin to step your right foot back. Bend your left knee. Use your block and then use your left thigh as a graduated way of going up. So left hand comes up first. When you're ready, right hand leaves the block and comes up onto the thigh. When you have your balance and your focus, bring your hands up so your shoulders are in line with your hips. Again, strong legs, left knee bent, back leg straight. High lunge. From here, open your right toe and land the heel so your body starts to spin to the right, and then bring your hands forward and back. Squeeze your knees to your pinky toes and look forward to your left hand. Warrior two, nice and strong. Squeeze those glutes. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's flip the front hand. Bring it up to the ceiling while the right hand braces on the back thigh. Take a deep breath in, take a bend back as far as you like, and exhale, come back to your warrior two. Inhale, flip the palm, bring it up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, flip the palm last time, bring it up. Maybe look at the ceiling. Change your perspective, take a smile. Exhale, hands back to warrior two. Cycle your left hand onto your thigh while your right hand swims back up over the head. Now peel your right shoulder back and spiral your chest to the right. Look up at your bicep if you wish, or straight over to your right side wall. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Keep those legs really strong, like they're trying to suck up the mat and squeeze the feet towards each other. Let's come back to your warrior pose. We're going to get ready for that transition with the side plank involved. So let's spiral the hands down. Move this block. And once you lift this left foot, it's going to come back to the back of the mat for plank pose. And now we're going to take the right hand, right side, and push down to the floor as we turn to the left. So notice my left hand's still on the floor. I'm going to either slip my left foot in front and then come to side plank, or slip it back and come to side plank, or keep my feet on top of each other for a side plank. So find what side plank works for you. Take a moment to experiment. Find your stability. There's no rush. In case I get ahead of you, you can always pause the video and come back and practice, okay? No worries. Very slowly, you want to make sure that you're steady. So I'm going to put my foot behind me as I send my left hand down slowly to the ground and turn back to face the floor. Plank, modified plank, knees down. Send the belly to the floor, chest down, peel up for your baby cobra. So your toes need to ground into the floor, lifting through the shoulders and firing up those back muscles. Good, slowly release, tuck the toes, come back up. From here, we'll make our way to downward facing dog. Press into those hands and just feel that stretch moving down underneath the arms towards your pectorals, the side length of your body, and the back of your legs. Let's bend those knees. Walk it forward, one foot at a time. Stay low. You can hold on to your block, or you can hold on to the back of your legs or the floor. Inhale, halfway lift like a number 7. Bend those knees, come all the way up, and bring the hands to heart. Good. We have one more sequence to go. We're just going to stretch it out in combination with another strength pose, and then we'll finish off with a balance and some more stretches. Let's take those hands up. We're going to make our way down to a forward bend. Inhale for your halfway lift. If you want, again, place your block on your left side, and you're going to step your left foot back. We're going to come into a version of low lunge with a twist. So here's where a block might be handy. I'm going to invite you to place it down onto its flattest position and put your left palm on that block. Shift your weight so that you're pushing down into that hand, and release your right hand up to the sky as you turn to face the right side of your mat. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Notice that I'm stacking my hand on top of my left hand, shoulders on top of shoulders. Squeeze your inner thighs together and push back through your left heel. So really lengthening that back leg. Good. Then from here, send your right hand down, turn your toes and your body over to the left side of your mat. So your right hand's going to come over, left hand's going to walk you over, and you're going to go all the way to the back of your mat. So crawl your hands, turn your feet so they're facing slightly out into a V, and then you're going to bend your left knee and send your hips down. I like to put my right toes up because, I don't know, it sort of helps my inner thighs to get lower maybe. Now, if you find this is really hard to do and you are kind of like this with your bum in the air, no worries. You can also walk your elbows up onto that left thigh and come into a higher version of side lunge or skandasana, your choice. Okay, so from either here or down below, you're going to either walk your hands over to the right side, or you're just going to shift your right knee bent and put your right elbow on that thigh. We're going to do that one more time. So we're going to shift over, bending the left knee. Now, for those of you down on the floor, it looks like this. You're just going to walk your hands across like a little spider and then bend right into it. So that's if you've got the room for it, okay? Now turn facing the right side. I know we've just kind of gone back and forth. You're facing the top of your mat, right side of your body. You're going to turn your right hand back, turn your body to face the front, coming back to your low runner's lunge. Okay, so then from here, we're going to step it up to the top of the mat this time with the aid of our block in the left hand. And then from here, come all the way back up. Hands to heart. We're going to do the other side. Arms to the sky, forward bend. Halfway lift, inhale. Now take your block into the right hand, left hand on the floor, bend your knees, step your right foot back. Coming into low lunge. So drop those hips. Notice if you're really crunched up in a small stance and your hips are really high up, try walking your back foot further away and sinking those hips down so you get this nice 90-degree angle in your left knee. Now from here, settle your block onto its flattest side. Put your right palm straight down. You're going to push all your weight into that right hand and into your feet. Release your left hand up to the sky. Turn your chest to the left. Squeeze your inner thighs together and then push back your right heel so you're really lengthening that right leg away from the left leg. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good, just holding this pose for a few more breaths. And then slowly release. Use that block again, maybe at this highest setting, to walk your right foot forward. Take a forward bend. Inhale for your halfway lift. Bend your knees, come all the way back up, and bring your hands to heart. All right. Feel free to grab a drink of water. We're going to move on with a balance pose, standing. We're going to try a lovely little balance called eagle pose. So eagle requires some balance and strength. I'm going to invite you to walk your feet about hip distance apart and then sink down into a little chair pose. Widen the arms off to the sides. Now listen carefully. We're going to take the right foot and begin to lift it off the ground. So find somewhere to stare at. So once you have that right foot off the ground, you could stay here just to work on your balance. You might find this is pretty hard on its own. Right leg otherwise crosses over. You're going to try to intertwine that right leg behind that left leg as much as you can. Now I can't really hook my toes any further, so I'm just going to stay here squeezing my knees together like I'm trying to draw them apart. Now lift up through the chest, the core, and we're going to take the left arm over the right arm. What's a balance? Intertwine the right hand into the left hand and pull the elbows up and away from the chest. So now you're going to hug those knees together. You're going to pull those elbows apart by keeping them together. Sink down into your hips or come out of it. Come back in when you need to. And then very slowly lift up, uncross those legs, and come all the way up. Hands to heart. All right. Here's the other side. So feet about hip distance apart. Sit down into a little chair pose, the knees bent, hips back. Now begin to lift your left foot up and then cross it over and hug those knees together. Widen the arms. This time you can take the right arm over the left, intertwine and place the hands, left hand into the right palm, lift the elbows off the chest, sit back down a little more. Find your focus. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more cycle of breath. You got this. And then slowly stand back up, release, and unravel. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a bow. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bend those knees. Come onto the floor. You can come into tabletop and have a seat. And we're going to end with the feet on the floor in front of us, beginning with boat pose. So we're going to glue those legs together, zip them up as close as you can, sit up really tall, and bring your navel back towards your spine. Chest is open, looking forward. Bring the arms out in front with the pinkies drawn towards each other and the thumbs away. Slide back, nice and straight. Don't curl into yourself. And then begin lifting your right foot to play with your strength to see what you've got here. And once you're comfortable, lift your left foot up. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. If you find this difficult at any point, you can brace your legs with your hands. You can also brace the floor with your hands a little bit or place them behind you. Very lightly. Try not to dump your weight into your hands. Whatever works for you. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly release. Place the feet on the floor. And staying here, you're going to widen the knees apart, soles of the feet together, coming to butterfly. Now hold on to the legs anywhere along your shins or knees. Sitting up tall and push your sit bones down. Other options are to come forward and placing your elbows to the inner parts of your thighs and just increasing a little bit more of that openness, external rotation in your hips. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Just continuing with that flow of your breath. Let's come all the way up and take a twist. Bringing the knees together, walk the feet forward. Let's take the right foot back in. We're going to take a twist from here, sitting up nice and tall. Now I'm going to sit onto the side to show you from the side what this should look like. Take the left hand up, wrap it around the right thigh. Keep it close towards the midline of your body. And then turn to the right and place your right hand down onto the floor. So notice how my back is straight up and it's not reaching back at an angle, but that my head is stacked up over my tailbone. So we want to keep those shoulders also fairly level. We don't want them also hiking up or scrunching to the ears. You might even want to look forward and then to the back. And then return back through center, releasing the right foot. So this time we're going to do the other side. Bring your left foot in. Raise the right hand. Hug it in as you turn to the left side of your room. Place your left hand on the floor behind you and then sit up nice and tall. Release your shoulders down. Find that nice little twist around your shoulders and your mid-back, a little bit in the low back. And then maybe take a gaze past your left shoulder. Come back through center. Reach the feet forward. Inhale, lift up nice and tall, and exhale, fold over the legs. Legs can be slightly bent if you like. Using your hands, pull your body forward over the thighs. Every breath brings you longer. Every exhale brings you down a little bit more if you have the room. And then let your shoulders drop and round your spine. Feel that lovely stretch through the back of your legs, along your spine. Let your head drop. Slowly release, coming back up. Take a position on the floor, onto your back. Once you're here, walk your feet out to the edges of your mat, arms out to a T, and drop your knees to the right. Maybe look and gaze towards your left hand, exhaling to let go of any strain or grip through your hips. Slowly come up through center, drop your legs over to the left side, and then similarly look to the right hand. Feel your breath moving through the right side of your rib cage, your hips just dropping down. Slowly invite the knees back to center. Walk your knees into the chest. Squeeze, maybe rock from side to side, your choice, and then let everything come back down. You can stay in constructive rest pose, or you can straighten out your legs and let your shoulders and head just rest along the floor. Allow yourself to settle into your Shavasana. You can close the eyes, breathing in through the belly, diaphragm, upper chest to the very top. Letting it seep back out, one portion at a time. Slowly wiggle your hands and feet. Maybe reach up overhead. Give yourself that great big full body stretch. Followed by a complete full exhale. Slowly make your way up to a seat, either rocking up or coming onto a side and having a seat. When you're ready, we'll bring those hands up overhead, reaching for the sky. Bring the hands down, resting down by your sternum. Feel that peace and unity within the breath, the body, and the mind. May you have this with you today in your thoughts, words, and heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll tune in again next time.